Alrighty, what's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Let's see. Alrighty. How's everybody? Can you guys hear me? Let me check this out for a sec. What's up, Char Char? All right. All good, all good. Sounds good. All right, well, let's dive into it. So, give me a second here and clean my glasses off. Oh, alrighty. I have been knee deep in my garage, kind of just doing some summer cleaning or a pre-summer cleaning on a bunch of my mining rigs and stuff, organizing it, moving some stuff around, getting ready for some stuff to happen here. For those of you guys that we'll get to it, we'll talk about it. I'm actually going to probably do a video if I get time tomorrow. May 5th, there'll be a snapshot for everybody that's holding Flux. They're going to be adding the Luna and the Avalanche blocks to it. So you're going to get paid out your parallel assets based on everything you're holding. So it's probably the easiest 10% airdrop that you're going to ever get. And obviously that's why we're seeing Flux really take off in the last like 48 hours. Do you think testing a 0% win rate strategy and reversing the trades could give you, I have been known to take literally the opposite trade of certain people, and it plays out just as a kind of a gimmick. But I mean, you got to look back and you got to ask yourself, were you wrong in the bias, or were you just wrong in the entry? So, if your bias was wrong, absolutely. If you were thinking shorts and the bulls came in and went long, yeah, I mean, revisit your whole understanding of structure and market cycles. But is there any day of the week that I don't trade? Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't trade Sundays. I don't look for trades on Mondays. Tuesdays is kind of when I really start looking for trades. But I mean, like this morning, I was not eager to get into anything because nothing was wowing me, right? Personally, my journal tells me Thursday, Fridays are my big days. So I make sure that, there's nothing going on Thursdays and Fridays for me. There's no going to play golf. There's no going out to go fishing. There's no running errands. There's nothing on Thursdays and Fridays. I get up early, hit the London crossover into New York session, and that's my trading day, really. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, if it's there, I'll take it. If the market wants to give it to me, great. Going into this week, though, and it's a good segue, but going into this week, I'm really not expecting much until the fireworks happen, right? If you guys haven't paid attention to what's going on, we got a double whammy this week, right? We've got, to start off tonight, right? We've got essentially it's the NFP or jobs reports for the Kiwi dollar. So we're going to see NZD really kind of give us some movements today. I'm expecting just continuation on the bearishness, but I'm hoping that, NZD futures, which we ultimately trade NU off of, gives us some sort of pullback so that I can sell from a more premium area. But I'm continuing to look for shorts on NU. You can see they're already pricing in a 3.2% is the forecast. It did come out at forecast. So, I don't imagine seeing the days of NZD giving us those like 60 to 80 pip news candles are long gone, right? If you guys were trading like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, man, I used to love NZDs, man, because they would throw like, I remember one, I think it was like NJ had like 180 pip wick on a news event. This was all like pre Dovik though. So I'm going to be looking for continuation moves on this, and going into tomorrow, right? The big thing that I'm really paying attention to is obviously the federal funds rate. All right. The Fed's going to come out. Mr. Jay Powell is going to come out and pretty much regurgitate and just throw up all over the podium and give us some stupid shenanigans as to why they are pricing in right now. The current fund rate is at 0.5%. They are fun. They're throwing in a 50 basis point is what they're forecasting. So never in the history of the United States have we seen in one showing, right? One meeting where they've raised it 50 basis points. Normally it's quarter, maybe it's 10, maybe, but never 50. So this should be interesting, especially for those of you guys that live on this side of the pond. Yeah, man, it's going to be hurting. So really the initial shock is going to come in right at 2:00. And then, whatever the press conference is going to spew, I'll be paying attention to that. Essentially tomorrow, I will not be taking any entries past noon. I kind of will shut it down, and I'm just going to sit back and hold on for dear life with everything that I have open, and we'll see how that goes. Going into Thursday, right? Same thing. We got the pound coming in with their monetary policy, and you can see they're already pricing in a 25-point basis increase or 0.25%, right? So we're looking at the US and the pound, right? Bank of England increasing their rates. And then that finishes off with Canadian jobs reports and non-farm payroll, right? The US job reports. So what I'm really going to be focusing, and nothing has changed the last, 8 weeks. I am still looking for strength in the US dollar, right? I don't know if you guys have paid attention. We'll jump on the chart, but I've been talking about, for the past 6, 7, 8 months that we were going to take that high. We took it this week. I am expecting some kind of pullback so that I can get into better positions. But overall, my bias is still EU, GU, AU, and NU shorts, right? If you hear the yapping dog, don't mind me. Hold on. And then we're looking at UCAD, USHEF, and UJ. I'm looking for those buys, right? The yen crosses, I'm still just waiting on pullbacks. Like they've just been sideways, and I'm waiting on pullbacks, but I'm really going to be focusing on the majors this week. I've been focusing on them for like the last 6 weeks, and really I haven't had any issues playing them. So do you do all your back testing on TradingView, or did you use a back testing software? Nope, did it on TradingView, man. You're struggling on TradingView to actually get down on the lower timeframes to find entries. Like struggling because the data is not there, or struggling because you're just not seeing the entries? Because you should be able to get at least on, I don't know how low time frame you're going, but I can see, I don't need to go to a 1 second accumulation to see it on a 30-second time frame. So even on the 30-second, I think you get like a month and a half of data. So there should be plenty in there. All right. So with that in mind, that's kind of how I'm looking to play this week. All right. And let's get into the charts. Again, my basis for dollar strength is just the chart. I can't tell you fundamentally why the heck the US dollar is so strong. It is what it is, but the purchasing power of the dollar is going a long ways. Obviously on where I live, I'm not seeing it because even though the purchasing power is going higher, my my pocketbook's shrinking because I've got to pay more for everything else. So we'll start over. Actually, hold on, let me throw all this back in here on primary. Kind of go through some of the stuff I was looking at today. Ooh, perfect. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, had to quiet these dogs. Can you probably not, man. I could speed through it, but it's not going to really do you any justice. For back testing, here's the secret of back testing, right? Figure out why price pivoted from where it pivoted off. Figure out that answer and start implementing that and figuring out that reason, right? There's a pattern to it, right? Price doesn't just arbitrarily move from that point of interest. So figure out the reason why it's moving. And that's the whole point of backtesting, right? Put together a checklist or a confirmation list of what you're looking for to get into. You keep struggling to find consistency with backtesting. I tend to get stuck on one setup and try to dissect it excessively. There's nothing wrong with that. Find the setup, figure out why it moved and pivoted from that area, and then go to the next setup. I'll tell you this, backtesting is an art. I mean, I don't know, those of you guys that have backtested with me before, I mean, maybe you guys can judge that, but it is an art. I mean, if you go back and look at my YouTube videos from, I don't know, 4 years ago, 3.5 years ago, my backtesting was not so great, right? You look at a backtest I did like last week, and yeah, I mean, experience comes with it, right? So don't, my suggestion is this, don't give up on it. Your fifth backtest you've done is going to be a little rocky. The 10th one you do, a little better. The 100th one you do, a little better. The 1000th one you do, you're going to be pretty solid on it, so yeah. Just because of the data feed. Yeah. I mean, so here's the one thing I will tell you is you can do certain things. Like I don't need to go to a 1 minute chart to see a 1 minute distribution, right? I could see it on a 30-minute chart. I could see it on a 15-minute chart. It's training yourself to understand what those candles or wicks are looking like. So, yeah. The more detail you put into, the better the result. Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. I'll tell you what, man, you're one to really talk about it, because when you throw a backtest on a PDF, man, right? It is in great detail. Why? Because the more detail you put into it, the more information you get. The more information you get, the better. So. Yeah. So, I mean, for sure, man. I would say the more information you put into a back test, the more answers you solve, right? Think of it as an investigation, right? You're investigating why price did what it did. And that's probably the golden egg of it. When I first started back testing, yeah, like it was it was a mess, and I would spend hours and hours and hours of doing it. Now, I mean, I can get through a quick little back test if I need to, in a couple of minutes. You develop little shorthand techniques, little notes and stuff, to speed the process along. Sam's back test. Yeah. In the one he's got in the Discord. Yeah. I mean, Sam has done a really good job at back testing. So do I think hydrogen powered cars could be the future? No clue, man. I couldn't tell you. I mean, if it's anything how hydrogen blimps went, those didn't take off too well. But yeah. All right, so let's dive into it. Let's take a look at dollar index, right? And what I was talking about was this high over here, right? This high right here. I was expecting us eventually to take out this high, and we did. We did end up trading above it, I think this morning. So, what essentially do we have? We have a reaccumulation, right? We know that this is now what is maintaining that massive leg from 2018, and the 2020 low or 2021 low is now essentially our slingshot, right? It's the SC that created that high. So I'm not saying that just because we took that high, all of a sudden now we're going to come down. But if we start to show signs of some weakness coming in, yeah, absolutely. I'll be looking for that. I'll be looking to see if dollar can give us some ground, and it's crazy to think that this accumulation right here that started in 2018 was thought of and was manifested with the intention of what happened here in, March of 2020 to give us that push back down into here. And then ultimately to break the highs. So, when you start really understanding the fundamentals behind how price is moving and why price is moving, and then incorporate that into market cycle and market structure, it becomes very easy to understand what we're doing. So higher time frame, yeah, we're bullish, right? On our intraday, yeah, we're bullish. This thing hasn't come back in a very long time. But from our lower time frame perspective, like, what am I expecting? I am still waiting for price to see if she can come here. I mean, heck, we were only here on the 21st, right? 10 days ago, we were here, and this thing has just moved an immense amount. So I'm hoping to see if tomorrow we can get price to come on down, right? If we can get price to come on down, I'll be looking for buys, right? I'm only really looking for buys. I'm not trying to short this. I have no desire whatsoever to try to short the US dollar. I am holding just a plethora of shorts on like GU, EU, NU, buys on like U-Swiss, and I think I do have a UJ buy. I think I was able to snag one in. I'll have to look to see if it's still open. But so yeah, I'm bullish, and that's what I'm anticipating is going to happen. Now, even from a smaller time frame, you can kind of see what my thought process is, right? We're either going to come lower, right? You're either going to play the pullback, or you're going to play the continuation move. And for me, what's the continuation move? The continuation move is going to be the reaccumulation, right? So this high here gets taken, and that's why that alert is sitting right there. And we do this. I now know that this accumulation specifically right here is now our new shakeout. And I know that price has mitigated here. I know that we have a smaller reaccumulation here. So my points of interest, right? If we do intend to make this a reaccumulation and go higher, right? My points of interest are going to be this area right here. And then this area right here, right? That candle or this push, all right, is going to be my first point of interest for us to play out of. And then what happens down in here, right? Ideally, that accumulation that happens on lower time frame in here, or just the entire push here. The 80% is kind of looking in here, so I'm guessing that already mitigated it. So this becomes X marks the spot for me if we do this, right? But I need this to get taken first. I need that reaccumulation to be confirmed, and if that happens, great. So if I know what dollar index is doing, right? If I can speculate, okay, this reaccumulation, boom, I know I'm playing out of here, or we're going to come lower and I'll play out of down there. If this is the case, then I already know what I'm doing with Euro USD. I already know how I'm going to trade GU. I already know how I'm going to trade Euro GBP. I already know potentially how I'm going to trade AU, NU, U-Swiss, UCAD, and even potentially UJ, depending on what the yen is doing, right? So all of that I already know, because based off of this, the dollar is just overpowering everything, and it is controlling the other markets. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. So with the dollar, we'll jump right over to EU, right? We will kind of go through the process here of, again, nothing's changed on intraday. Nothing has changed on higher time frame with dollar. So nothing's changed with EU, right? We are still the most smallest form of structure in here, right? Is still being maintained out of this redistribution, right? Within our order flow leg. Okay. This right here is not any kind of lower time frame structure. It's still order flow for me. All right. So what I'm looking for within this leg to see if we can, in fact, come back into my slingshot area or into the extreme, which is sitting up here that causes this low, right? How many types of reaccumulation do you trade and what's their difference? Well, there's only 4, right? There's only 4 different types. I guess I can theoretically trade all of them. But I only trade the ones that give me a bona fide shakeout, right? I do theoretically trade all of them, because if I don't play the reaccumulation, what am I going to do? I'm just going to wait for the schematic in the area of demand, if that makes sense. But yeah. You should be able to find them online. I mean, I don't know if, you know what? I honestly don't know if you can find it online anymore. I know, but you'll know there's 4 of them. The easiest one is going to be the one that creates the shakeout, and that's the one that I typically trade. Yeah, hold on. Give me 1 sec. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I had to get some more water. Historically, what do higher interest rates do to the dollar? Well, I mean, that's not a fair question to ask, right? Because it all depends on what the market prices in. So if the market is pricing in higher interest rates and the interest rate comes in where they priced in, then nothing happens, right? The market continues to go where it's going. In the event that, you know, there's a decision to make an interest rate hike or a reduction, and the market hasn't priced that in, that's where the volatility comes in, and that's where factors come into play with like emotional trading, with, you know, fundamental trading. But no matter what the interest rate is, the dollar is still going to go where the buyers or sellers want to take it, right? So in theory, though, higher interest rates means what? It means that the lending institutions essentially are able to charge a higher interest rate. So that means that they're going to make more money, which means they're going to be able to put more money into the market. So higher interest rates, bullish dollar. I mean, that's how I essentially am going to interpret it. And they're already pricing in the 0.5%. So if it comes in 0.5%, you're going to see the market just continue to skyrocket. Okay. All right. So with this redistribution, I mean, this is where I'm waiting, and you could see I've just been waiting since March, right? I think actually, no, I think this was, when was this? This was April 21st. So I've been waiting since April 21st for us to come back into this area. All right. Much like dollar, you know, this is the same area that I'm waiting for the dollar to come back into, just on the flip side of it. So if we can get up there, this is where I really want to start. All right. This area here is going to be my first point of interest, because that is what caused the redistribution, right? That's what confirmed it. This is where I'd like for price to come in, specifically like this news candle right there. That's what I want to trade into. And if we go higher, obviously I'm going to be looking at this right here. In the meantime, I'm going to play the continuation move on order flow, right? If we do not go lower, you can kind of see my thought process, right? This week, what I wanted to see when we were here, I wanted to see a new low, right? That's why this was sitting right here, because if I saw a new low, what I wanted to play out of was, you know, ideally I wanted this area here to be the cause of that new low. And then obviously this would have been in the new order flow. We haven't gone to that. So I haven't been into a trade on EU yet, because there's nothing to trade, right? For me, this here is nothing to trade yet, until we either make this low or we go up into the area I want to buy from. Okay. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? So ultimately, we're still in an accumulation phase, right? Here's your accumulation. Price has given you a somewhat sign of strength. And ultimately, we could be, we could be starting to see signs of reaccumulation. But, you know, what do I have? I have price. And I just saw where this came in today, man. Did anybody catch it? Are you kidding me? How did I not see this today? Give me one sec. Hold on. I just want to take a look at this real quick. Oh, is this where this came in? No. All right. We missed it. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All is well then. I'd be a little upset if we, oh no, I think we came into the lower one, didn't we? Unreal. Wow. All right. Nobody, did anybody catch this? I'm just curious. I'm just curious if anybody caught this. That sucks. I honestly, I had it marked out, but I wasn't even going to take it until we took this low. I wanted this low to get taken. Well, that sucks. Oh, well, it is what it is. I don't know what it would have been. What would it is? I don't even know if I want to know what this would have been. This would have been a 1.5 pip stop. All right. That is what it is. No worries. All right, no worries. So what do I do now, right? How do I get into this market? At this point here, for me to take the shorts, right? I still need this low to get taken. If this low gets taken, I already know where my manipulation is, right? Right here. That's my manipulation. Everything above here has been mitigated out. Okay. So the 2 points that I'd be looking at if we do in fact make this low is coming back to mitigate this or coming back to mitigate this. And that 80% is on the table. So that's ideally the only thing I'd be doing with EU unless we go up higher. Right. I'm not interested in really trying to hedge the buy, not this week. Right. If it wasn't a heavy news week, I'd look at a hedge. But I have no interest in trying to hedge the buy on it. So, we potentially could see this. And if that's the case, then I'm just going to play out of this redistribution, right? So this would be a redistribution on itself. This being your shakeout, I'd play out of that coming in. And I would probably just wait for a lower time frame distribution to take this lower. And if we do trade above this high, then my line in the sand would be this, right? If we trade above this high, that's it. I'm waiting until we get up in that structure point. So that's all I would be doing with EU. And going from there, right? Man, that bothers me that it came in. What time did this come in? 8:45 in the morning, man. Unreal. All right, no worries. It is what it is. So with EU, that's it. I mean, it's pretty simple. GU, right? So on GU side, what I'm looking for is kind of the same thing, right? I mean, we know that I'm still holding the shorts on these bad boys. I'm actually still holding, where's the last shorts? April 21st. So I'm still holding the shorts from here. I know a lot of you guys did grab that. That was an awesome play. I know a bunch of you guys caught that EU short as well that I'm hoping you're still holding on to. But we know that, right? We know that if we come back up into this redistribution here, that this is the area I'm really looking for price to come back into. But until we get there, there's really no reason why I can't play the continuation play. Out of this continuation play here, right? What do we see? Well, you can already see that I'm expecting some sort of come on, there we go. I'm expecting some kind of redistribution on itself. What I'm going to be looking for is break below here, right? That's what I want to see. we already have, we got our ice being built here. We have, potentially price being able to make this low right here. And if that's the case, if price comes in tonight, let's say that we have that Asian price action, Frankfurt sweeps it, we break, and then we come back in. Yeah, I'll start selling it. Listen, we're in a bearish market. I don't need new lows to take the sells, right? In a bearish market, I don't care about making new lows. What I care about is the continuation play. So from the smallest form of order flow, right, you can kind of see what I'm looking at here. I wanted this reaccumulation to, and this is what I was looking at to start the week off. I was trying to catch an entry out of this right here. This is what I wanted. And we just didn't get up there. So now we have a confirmed distribution, right? And we have actually, it's a confirmed redistro. So when we do this, and when we broke this low, right? So this was the accumulation that started it all. When we broke that low right there, what I need to be looking for now is our sweet spot, right? So I know that the manipulation happens right here in this push, right? This is where they ended up buying and ultimately where they sold off from, right? That's my push. And it looks like there's a distribution on a lower time frame way up there. So maybe there's going to be something in there that you can potentially take a look at. The other thing is the entire move, right? So we could see that the 80% and the 50% are pretty close to each other. I mean, we're talking about, oh, this is 10 pip difference, but we're talking about 4 pips up here. So that's kind of why this alert is sitting where it's sitting right here. I want to see it come back up in here so I can take a short. And I mean, just looking at what she did up here. Let's see. No, never mind. I thought there might have been a little manipulation, but it's nothing that I would set a limit out of. So for me personally, I'm just going to be waiting for a schematic, right? I'm going to be in this area right here of this redistribution. I'm just going to kind of play it out and hopefully we get, the typical Asian price action, Frankfurt or London manipulates it and then play the mitigation of it. That's ultimately what I want to see. Come on up here, somewhere in here, and give me that manipulation. We break, and that would be my entry. Firstly, I'd be targeting this, right? And then I'd be targeting that low to confirm the redistribution. Are the higher 50 and 80 invalid at this point because we made a new low? Which one? You're talking about this one up here? Is that one you're talking about? Yep. Yeah. For me now, yeah, I'm not looking for anything there now. They'll become back relevant when they hold the leg, right? So if we do this, right now, this comes back into play. And ideally, I would say that the 50 is done, right? If I guarantee if you find the full volume candle, that's what that played into. But the 80 is still on the table. So, and I like that. I like the fact that the 80 would be a break or a sweep of that Asian liquidity. So, potentially you could see this come back up, the distribution there to short it. Yeah. So right now, like how I'm playing it is the lowest form of order flow within it, right? We had this to here, we broke. So that was the leg. We came back, we broke, right? So our order flow is walking itself down and I want price to come back in here. And this is what I'll look for tomorrow to short this. All right. So that's kind of what I'll be looking for GU on the AU front. So on the AU front, same thing, right? I mean, we're bearish, ideally, this is still waiting up here, right? We're still waiting out of this redistribution. And you could just see price just continuing to redistro and redistro. So if we don't get a pullback, right? If we don't get a pullback, how do I get into this? I'm just going to play the continuation move on this, and you can kind of see. So let's first go to a 5-minute. So you can kind of see what's maintaining our current order flow, right? So our current order flow is this right here to that right there, right? And the thought process to start my week out, or I guess Friday, I guess probably when I marked this up Friday, what I wanted to see was what? I wanted to see price come back up into this area right here, right? Well, we did. We came in yesterday's news during Asian session. The Australian news came out, and we got the manipulation into there. So, okay, great. So now how do I get into this? So I need to now play that redistribution, right? So we can see, let's get into it here. So we can see that this was our manipulation, right? We could see that we broke the reaccumulation down here that created that. And what I was really looking at this morning was, all right, so what do we have? And here's a great example, right? I don't need a 5-second chart to tell me that that is a type 1 schematic, right? A type 1 distribution. But what we can see is we can see that Frankfurt gave a manipulation, and that was ultimately what caused the break, right? In order for this play to be valid, we had to trade below here. And ultimately we did, right? So when we traded below there, that's where this distribution came into play, right? Everyone, you should be able to see, right? You should be able to see that this is, I mean, not as clean, but it's still there, right? I mean, 100%, you should be able to see it. And there's your climax to your rally, right? Secondary test, right? To an MSAL. And there's your UTAD, right? So once the UTAD breaks, now you know that this is where they bought, this is where they sold. So measure out the entire move, and there's your 80%, there's your 50%, right? And then of course, you know, what does price do? Price comes right into it, right? Price came into, let's go back over to it. Price came into that right at New York Open, right? Came right into the 50, right at New York Open. And the key was just waiting for this break right here, right? Waiting for that break of order flow, which was this low. And I mean, that's something you could have taken. I mean, it was a pretty tight stop. What is it? 1.8 pips. I didn't take it. I think we saw it. If whoever was on the call with me this morning, right? I think as soon as we jumped on the call, I think it happened, and I think we were actually trying to catch the continuation play after it. So we were trying to play this in here. Yeah, we're trying to play this right here. We're playing the redistributions. So, and then you can kind of just see price doing what it needs to do, right? You had, all right, so you get price coming in. You get price that ultimately shows a ugly distribution. So on a Tuesday, I'm not taking it. We get a redistribution that causes that low. And, you know, just measure out your entire redistro. There's your 80, there's your 50. What does price do? Comes right into the 80. What she do after that makes a new low. And then after that, what does she do? Breaks you even. You know, it is what it is. But following this down, you know, what do we see? We just play the continuation move, right? So you know that this was your manipulation. You could see that that is a type 2 distribution in there. That distribution now sends this down. So ultimately, this redistro is going to be of value to me. And so is that distribution up there, right? And I'm guessing that's probably what she did. She probably just came right into this redistro here. Let's see. Is that what she did? Yeah, that's what she did. Okay. Yeah. Do you place limits on extremes? If that extreme was during the, no. I don't play price action out of Asian session. I only play fresh schematics out of Asian. So yeah, I won't put a limit order. Yeah, I won't put a limit order out of an Asian low or Asian high. Do you anticipate them coming back up to sweep the high of the manipulation from the news spike? Do you the high of the manipulation? This right here, right here. So what for me? I mean, what would be the reason for them to sweep that high? Yeah, I mean, for me, there's no reason for them to sweep it, right? We're in a bearish market. So what was, if you ask yourself this, what was the intent for this candle right here? What did that candle do? Or what do you think that candle did? It took liquidity. All right, sure. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it swept out, right? It swept out, you know, any weak-handed sellers from down here, right? Anybody, I mean, I guess they were already out of it, but I mean, so for me, it's not a liquidity grab, right? What was it doing? It was mitigating this move, right? So what do you think everybody did at the news event when they saw that bullish candle, right? They started buying, it trapped buyers. So for me, this candle was intentionally done with the intention of this right here, mitigating that move, which it did, right? For me, that's a good mitigation. And then looking at it once, what's the after effect of it? So if we know, right, if we know that they started, this is where they bought price from, right? And we know that this is where they sold price from. So once they engulf it and they go to close it out, right? Did they come in? I guess I already have it marked out, but did they come into an area where this here potentially, or this here potentially was the mitigation of this candle? And now those orders are done. Yeah. I mean, for me, that's how I read it from a smaller, lower time frame sense. All right. You might like the no gaps candle script for lower time frame. No, because I like I want to see the gaps, right? I want to see the orders. Those candle gaps show me the volume. I don't know if you've actually looked at like trying to find volume using a volume profile or something like that with TradingView, but each broker has different volume. But if you can see the candle and you can see the gaps in the candle or the volume of candle, that's something I look at. So yeah, I mean, if you're having difficulty seeing the schematic, I mean, sure, you can turn it on and off. It's a script. You can do it. Great. I personally don't need the gaps to be filled in for me to see it. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Enticed by ears. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Remember, like, especially that's why I honestly, you know, what's my plan for tomorrow? My plan for tomorrow is just wait for FOMC to give me the manipulation. And then my play is going to be mitigating the manipulation, right? It's that easy. Just wait for them to manipulate price. They're going to have to come back and mitigate it. I'll play the mitigation. You know, I don't need to catch the manipulation. Need to close my long limit buy on what, on AU? Where are you going to buy it from? If there's something higher time frame, I honestly, so I'm not in a lot of, are you talking about it here? I was looking at 70, 49, 70. Oh, wait. You're talking about out of here. Is that the point, like the reference point you're looking at in there? Or are you talking to something out of this because of this break? Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a buy out of this area here, I mean, if you're looking, yeah, no. If you're in the Discord and if you know what this means, I give you the thumbs up emoji, man. Good luck with it. Let me know how it goes. Yeah. Nope. Yeah. Good luck with it. There's really no reason for me to look for a buy out of any of this because this did absolutely nothing. I mean, sure, it swept Asian liquidity, right? But the move's already happened. So for me, the fact that we now, would I hedge this if we ended up breaking order flow? I don't know I mean, if the circumstances are there, I'll hedge it, but I'm definitely not looking for a buy until we take this high right here. I mean, if you think about it, lower time frame, intraday, higher time frame, all bearish, and you're in bearish order flow. So this right here just doesn't give me any reason to buy it. I would honestly, I'd like to see, continuation to the downside, and then I'll just keep looking for the opportunity for the shorts. So can I take a screenshot of your fib setting? What do you mean of my fib setting? It's just all it is a 50 and 80, man. Just put a 50 and an 80. That's all I put. Yeah, just put a 50% and an 80%. Do I use any volume indicators? No. Nope. There's absolutely, I mean, I have a volume indicator, but I can't tell you the last time I used it. There's no point, right? Where is it at? Right there. There it is. There's no point in looking at volume because I don't need, like, the only thing I would use volume for is to see the decrease and increase in volume coming in. I don't need to see that on an indicator. I could see it on the candle, right? I could see it in the chart. So the price action, where you can, I'd say this, you can screenshot this volume indicator and go over to FXCM and it'll be a totally different volume indicator. So the Forex market doesn't give accurate. It's only volume presented from that broker. It's not the true volume from the order books. How do I classify my intraday and higher time frame? From the leg structure. So, intraday is going to be the higher leg from lower time frame. Higher time frame is going to be the higher leg from the intraday. Was thinking change of character back to fill in some imbalance. Change of character. Yeah, but where's your change of character? I mean, just look at this chart. Where's your change of character? Right? We have, I mean, where's your change of character? We don't have one yet. Yeah. Now, like I said, if you do this, right? If you do that, now you've got a type 1 schematic and this is your spring, right? So I'd be looking, essentially this would be your SC and this would be your extreme, right? So now you've got that, right? It's still not enough for me to buy it though, because we're in a bearish market, Yeah. I'll just sit and wait for the short. So that low wasn't any accumulation base you talking about this right here? That low? Yeah, sure. It's an accumulation. Yeah, I agree. It's an accumulation. Just remember, I mean, price accumulates for one or two reasons, right? Price accumulates because buyers want to take the market higher, or because sellers want to pull back so they can fill more orders from a premium price. So in this market right now, who's in control? Supply or demand? For me, it's supply. Can supply create an accumulation? Absolutely. How else do you think supply gets the market to come up here, or gets the market to come up here, or gets the market to come up here? Because they have to accumulate those orders, right? Essentially, it's just a large bundle of orders that are hedging themselves. So until I see evidence that demand is in control, I personally won't be buying anything on AU. So sometimes good to use the volume for the PSY if it is hard to see, right? So I guess the question would be, does every schematic need a PSY? And then secondly, I mean, I can't tell you the last time I marked out a preliminary support or preliminary supply. So you can, yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the largest spike because it's the first point at where buyers or sellers are going to test the market to see if it's applicable for them to entice those buyers or sellers to help them move the market in the direction they want to go. I mean, truthfully, don't spend a lot of time trying to find your PSY or your PS. I don't even validate that as one of my drives, right? I need a 3-drive minimum. PS or a PSY is not one of them. All right, geez, hold on. I'm trying to catch up here. What does SC and MC mean for you? No, SC is just what I call my slingshot candle. And then my MC is just my extreme mitigation candle. How do we get the script for Asian and Frankfurt times? Just search sessions on the chart. Sessions on the chart. That's all you got to do. And just put in the times that you want. Like when you go into indicators, you can change all the times and stuff. So go to, where's it at? Right there, sessions on chart. That's the one you can use. All right. Yeah, nope, not every, exactly. Not every schematic needs a PSY. Yep. Can you add the volume profile to the toolbox, Mike? To the toolbox. What do you mean to the toolbox? Up here? I guess you can, bro. I guess you can. Can't you? Right? Yeah, just start, right? If you start, there you go. Bam. Start. Is that what you're talking about? It wasn't working. Now imagine that a trading view option wasn't working, man. You know what it is? You got to pay the enhanced fee of $15 to trading view for them to get you that to work all day. All right, hold on. Let me see. If you change the color of the chart to black, will you be selling, buying in the black market? I see. How do you get a UTAD without a prior upthrust? How do you get a UTAD without a prior upthrust? Okay, so do you mean like, how is it a UTAD without an upthrust? Because all you need is 3 drives, right? So, right, in a schematic, you need the 3 drives and then you need the manipulation. So what happens, the 3rd drive here, right? The 3rd drive here, it's either, it could be either an upthrust or it could just be another ST, right? Because in an accumulation, do you require your STB to trade below everything and then give you a spring, or can you get that and have an accumulation? So I would, if you don't know that answer, I would say just backtest some schematics. You don't need an upthrust, just like you don't need an STB to trade below your secondary test or your climax. The only thing you would have to do is just make sure that you're understanding what is maintaining structure within your schematic. So, and once you get to that point where, like, once you understand where structure is, what high needs to get broken, that'll keep you from taking, as I call it, the stupid losses. So just box it out, follow the structure within the box. You email them today regarding the lags? No, bro, that went right into their spam folder, man. That went right into their spam folder. You know what I'm going to do is I'll just start tagging them in my Twitter feed. And I'm going to do a video of me showing the lag, tagging them in my Twitter feed. I just wish there was another program that I can influence people to go to instead of TradingView, man. It's just, I don't know. I'm going to get off the soapbox though, because otherwise I'll be here all night just bashing TradingView, because I think it is just stupid how they can't get their stupid API or their servers to act accordingly. All right. Anyway, yeah, bro, they don't care. They don't care, because they surely don't care about my emails. All right. So going back to AU. Yeah. So what am I anticipating? I'm still looking for the shorts, can we trade above this high? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, you've got the 80% still in here. You've got a distribution that is still there, right? Can we play out of that? 100%. right? So for me to be involved in an AU short, I'm going to be looking for signs of supply coming into the market, meaning we just need order flow to continue to be bearish. And ultimately, if we do this low right here, what am I going to do? I'm going to look for the redistribution if it presents itself to play the continuation play to go lower, right? So that's kind of my thought process with AU. And I mean, listen, the sister to AU is NU, and it's the same exact thing, right? I mean, just look at where we're at. We're just playing redistro, you know, and you can kind of see the thought process. Like last week, what were we waiting on? We were waiting for stupid price to come up here. She didn't give it to us. She gave us a redistro instead, right? There was a nice little entry there at the end of like New York session. And then what do we get? We got another redistro. So what was I waiting for? Waiting for this stupid thing to come up here, right? We didn't get that. So what do? I just continue to play the continuation move. And here is what happened last night, right? News came out yesterday, and this is now what causes that low, right? And yeah, we do have an accumulation here, right? Just like on AU, you have an accumulation, but that accumulation went into what? Into a distribution, which either is going to potentially turn into a reaccumulation and trade here, or we're going to make that low. So what gets me into this market? Well, if we go higher, I'm looking for a schematic out of the news candle. Or if we go lower, right? If we go lower, you can already see where the manipulation from today's price action was, right? The manipulation was right here. You know, I've already got it marked out, and you can kind of see like we broke already during New York. We came into the 50%. I was looking to see if I can catch something, but there just wasn't anything for me to play, not on a Tuesday. You know, so ideally, if this comes out and does this, you know, your 80% is on the table, right? So that's where I'll be looking right here for us to short it, but we need this low to get taken first. All right. So that's kind of how I'll play it. Oh, good. Look, we're all caught up. Are you drawing your fib across the entire redistro? For what? I mean, it depends. Like, if I'm looking for an area where I'm going to start, you know, speculating that price is going to give me a sign of a distribution, yeah, it's going to be the whole redistro. If I'm looking at just measuring my manipulation, like so, like this candle right here, no, I measured it from here, and then if I find the full volume candle, right, that I'm going to take a limit order out of, then I'll just measure the body of the candle. So yeah, it's dependent on like the scenario in which I want to trade it. All right. So that's kind of NU, right? And just keep in mind, like, I mean, where the heck are we? I mean, look at the 15-minute, right? You can see what we're just doing. We are at that stage now where, you know, I really want to just see either this to come up here and we can trade into, you know, some higher premium pricing, or we just collapse, right? Or we just collapse, and I'll play the redistro. All right, we'll continue with some the other dollar crosses, right? So on like UCAD, right? UCAD, where are we at? You know, we now know, right? We now know that, like I expected, we have now broken this high. So now this is on the table, right? This accumulation right here is on the table. All right. This is what maintains our structure point. We also know that this is my slingshot, right? So this is also our order flow play right here, right? This is the last leg in that reaccumulation. So I'm giving a lot of emphasis to trying to catch something out of this price action right here. And if we come lower, right? If we come lower, I will have a limit order out of this down here, right? But it's we're like 400 pips from that. So that ain't going to happen this week. So what am I looking for like this week? Well, it's right here, right? Just play the continuation move, you know, play the play. You know, we saw price come in, you know, I'm gutted. I know a couple of people on here are gutted because we were waiting, right? We were waiting right here. We wanted this in here, and she came, she accumulated. I think we tried getting in early on it too, right? Didn't we get in on it early and then got reduced risk out, and then she just took off? So, you know, what are we looking to get into? I mean, this is it. You know, tomorrow morning I'll be looking for price. This ain't gonna happen now, so I'm just gonna move it down here. Come on, save. There we go. So you can see we have a type 1 accumulation here, right? We have a type 1 accumulation. I'm going to be, without a doubt, waiting for price to come here. I've got an area where I want to take a limit out of, but can we play out of a reaccumulation? We can. I just don't think we're going to. I think we're going to collide. I think we're going to come lower. I think, ideally a perfect scenario for me would be, the old Asian price action starts the schematic. We get Frankfurt or London to sweep it. So, maybe something along the lines of this, come on down, we sweep, break, and then New York comes back to mitigate to take this higher. That's what I'll be waiting for. And then, what am I going to be targeting? New highs, right? I mean, right now, what's my main focal point to get up to here, right? We do this, I'm looking to target up here. And, obviously higher time frame, I've got some bigger targets to the upside where, we potentially can get up to. But yeah, this is a pretty clean reaccumulation, right? And, you can see when I measure out the entire reaccumulation, here's your 50%. So, could we play into something here? We can. I just don't think we will. I mean, if we do, we're going to have to drag it out and maybe do something like this. And then that's Frankfurt right there. Frankfurt sweeps it, breaks, London mitigation to go higher. And if that's the case, then when I wake up, and I see it up here, maybe I'll play a mitigation of that London price action. All right. So yeah, so that's UCAD. I'm still bullish on this, still looking to take it higher. US dollar, Swiss franc, same thing, right? I mean, I'm still holding all of these flipping buys from in here. And I think no, it's just January. So January, February, I'm still holding those buys from here. On U Swiss, these things are in, some massive profits. We're talking 700 pips. So, what am I expecting now? Well, I mean, I was still kind of waiting for price to come on down here, right? Because this is now what we're waiting on, right? This is that leg that gave us. So until we get a pullback, right? Until we get a pullback, I'm just going to have to sit back and play the reaccumulations, right? There was some really nice plays all in the middle of April through here, right? These gave some really, really nice plays. There was one entry in here that played out pretty nicely. But the rest of it, like you can just see, I just kept missing these, right? Missed this one by a little hair. I was looking for the accumulation in that 50, just missed it. And now where we're sitting at, right? I am, we reaccumulated today. And this is what I wanted to see. We have, here's your leg, right? You break. So when we break that, we confirm the reaccumulation, right? So what do I want to find? Where's my manipulation? Well, there's your manipulation, right? That's your shakeout. How do you know? Because it shook everything out, right? It manipulated, it gave you that major sign of weakness, and then turn around and we ended up going higher. So out of this, I know that this is my shakeout, right? So this is my extreme, right? This is what's maintaining. And I also know that this reaccumulation is important, right? Because it's my slingshot. It's the cause of that break. So those were the 2 points of interest we were looking at. And when price came into that area, right? When price came into that area, this stupid thing, man. This is us this morning, right? I don't know how many of you guys were with us on, this morning. This is what we were trying to take this morning. And this is what she missed us by. This is typical Tuesday crap, man. Typical Tuesday crap. So we were playing it like this. Here's your schematic, right? There's your climax to your rally, to your test, to your up thrust action, right? To a test. This could have been your spring, right? But never broke structure. You would have needed this break. And then we get another test, right? And then you get your spring. So when this was your spring and this is your low and this is your previous low, all we needed was this high right here to get broken. And, this stupid thing didn't give us the break. So no trade. We had to wait for us to finally do this. And you could see the reaccumulation. So we just kind of split it. I took 50% of the reaccumulation with the stop loss below it. And then I had the 80% here with the stop loss below it. And I mean, she came back. She missed, what did she miss us by? She missed us by, I think, 2 pips. Was it 2 pips? 1.2 pips. That's what it was. Missed it by 1.2 pips. And then, bye-bye she went. She ain't letting nobody else get on, and that's all she wrote. So, I mean, the bias was correct. We just didn't, I mean, there's nothing I would have executed differently. I wanted that 50%. I think, yeah, it just sucked. It is what it is. So, what do we do now? Well, we just confirmed a new break. This is something when we broke here. There we go. When we broke that, right, we now have a confirmed reaccumulation, right? You've got your distribution that is right here. And then you have a shakeout, ultimately confirming a reaccumulation, right? So out of this reaccumulation, I now know that this 80% down here is on the table, right? That's something I'll throw a little bit of risk on if we come down. And ideally, what I want to see is I just want to see price come on back into the 50% of this move. Because remember, this is where they sold, this is where they bought. So this is what we want to see. And if we can get into, an area where we start to see demand come into the market, same thing, boom, that's my entry, and we go higher with it. So I'll be watching tomorrow morning when I wake up, if we get into an area where I'm ready to buy it, right? And, kind of give you an idea, there you go. This is where I'll be looking to buy around this 50%, and if we can get down here, I mean, even better. That's kind of where I want to play it from. So we either get the pullback, right? Or if we don't get the pullback and we get that, right, we just reaccumulate it again. And I know now that I'm going to be playing out of this right here to take this higher, right? So either pullback or we're going to play the reaccumulation is how I'm going to do it. My bad. Hold on, man. If price takes out the reaccumulation, does that make it a less probable trade in the schematic? No. Remember, like, no matter what time frame you're looking at, right? So, let's just say that, boom, you get the spring, and in that spring, you get an accumulation that gives you a reaccumulation that breaks, right? Sure, this is just giving you the confluence. Maybe that's like the 50%, but if price comes back to mitigate your extreme, right, I'm going to take that, right? I'm going to take that because this is just maintaining. Remember, the reaccumulations and redistros don't hold structure. So yeah, they don't hold structure. All they are either the most current order flow, or they're just the continuation play on it. So I got a feeling that you have, you know it, bro. You know it. This right here, that right there. It's well worth it. Trust me, it's well worth it. So I've got that set. Oh, hold on. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, UCAD. What about UCAD? Yeah, so that's what I'm going to be waiting on, right? That's what I'll be waiting on. So we're either going to come back into this or we reaccumulate up here. So, it's just going to be a wait and see. And then target wise, what do we do? I mean, I'm sure you could see that 80% of the COVID spike. Yeah. Like we traded above it. Like this was an area that I thought maybe we get, some form of retracement. It doesn't look like it though. It doesn't look like it. I'm not really seeing a lot of evidence of distribution yet. When we see this market right here, nothing about this is telling me it's slowing down. It's just telling me that we're just reaccumulating after reaccumulating. So yeah. What are you talking about down in here? No, there's orders in there, man. I think it's just being stupid. I think it's just being stupid, bro. Let's see. Yeah, bro. Like you're talking, there's no orders here. No, there's orders in there. Look at the candles. There's no, I mean, if there was a wick, right? If there was wicks there, then I'd be like, yeah, that's just stupid, but no, there's full body candles in there. Yeah. Look at that. There's full, let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. You told me you had me put it on here, bro. Look at that. Let's see. Let us see. Yeah. See, it's showing 0.49, man, but there's orders in there. There's orders. Hold on. Let's just go like here. Yeah, nah, this is, yeah, this is just a Wanda, man. This is why I don't put a lot into the volume profile, but it's good to like invalidate stuff. No, there's orders. There's orders here. There's orders here. I mean, how else? Yeah, how else are you going to get? How else would you get? Look at this. So it's saying that there's no orders here, right? No orders here, but how else would you get price to give you a candle to come down and then pull back up? So yeah, I think it's just a Wanda being stupid. I think someone got lazy and didn't want to put the API data in. So with the wicks, yeah. If there's a wick, so when there's a wick, that's more evidence, of either manipulation or just a bad feed. So when do I trust the volume profile and shave off pips in my stop loss? So I guess the easy answer was anytime that there is changeover, that's an easy one to, if that changeover wick, we know that that's going to be a false. News events as well, right? Because a news event, the easiest form of that broker manipulation is they just, they're not actually orders. But this being right at 8:37 in the morning, yeah, no, there's no reason for this not to be valid. Yeah. And I mean, shoot, there's there's a type 1 right there. There's a type 1 right there. I don't even, let's see. I don't even know, man. Hold on. There's your type 1. There's your type 1. Yeah, there's your type 1. There you go. And there's your break. All right, no worries. Yeah. And DR, I'll tell you this, man. I don't trust the volume profile. I do not. Like, I'll shave stuff off, but I don't. Same on Chef J, but it wasn't worth the risk for me. On the type 1. What, the entry? Or are you talking about to shave it off? The profile? Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm curious. Tomorrow, we'll check we'll check like the other feed, FXCM. It sucks. Like forex.com, you can't even use the volume profile because they flat out don't even report volume. Yeah. I got you, man. I got you. No, yeah, Chef, dude, this was a flipping. I was a little ticked off that we got stopped out on this one, man. Yeah. All right. So anyway, got to move it along. Otherwise the wife's going to kill me tonight. Okay. So, what am I waiting for? Yeah, you could see it, right? I mean, I'm looking for us to come back into here, right? On UJ, right? UJ, same kind of thing, like higher time frame, right? What am I looking to do right here, right? Where's it at? You could see where's my box? Yeah, there's the box. All right. So you can kind of see my thought process, right? It's very, we have a confirmed reaccumulation here, right? This is your shakeout. So price comes into that. That's where I'm buying from, right? I'm going to be buying out of here. And what's the other alternative? Well, if we reaccumulate, then figure out wherever our manipulation is. If our manipulation happens like this, and then we go higher, then that's where I'm playing out of, right? Once we break the high. So I'm either going to play the reaccumulation when it happens, or I'll just play the pullback if we can get back down into it. But that's why I'll be looking on UJ, and just keep targeting some highs, right? UJ, I think, is now moved from the start of last year over 1,800 pips, which is crazy. And I mean, so that's all the dollar stuff I'm looking at. Some of the other plays that I'm looking, ACAT, right? ACAT and NCAD were two that I had on my radar today. I wanted, and you can kind of see what I was looking at here. So just another redistribution. And ultimately, what we saw here, especially with the news, right, from yesterday, all it did was just come right back in to our area of supply. I'm guessing, did that actually tap the 50 of that distro? I think it hit. I do think it tapped. Oh, just shy of it. Okay. So, what do I want to see now? Right. I was looking for some shorts today on this. And what I want to really see is I just want to see, so you can see this alert here. This is the very first area of reaccumulation. So you have your accumulation, or, you can even say that's your accumulation. You have your reaccumulation, and then you get price that ultimately comes up to mitigate out of the left. So this is where they bought from. And I'm just going to be waiting for price to break this. And if we even go further and break this, then I know now we have a new order flow leg, right? And I can do something with that, right? I could do something. I can, ultimately, we already know that this is your manipulation, come back up into, a premium area and wait for the distribution. So I'm going to continue to look for ACAD shorts. Same thing with NCAD, right? NCAD, I actually had a limit order on NCAD today. You can kind of see how NCAD is just playing, right? I mean, super, super clean. It's not coincidence that, we, after, showing the redistributions, come right into the previous candle. And this was news as well, right? This was Kiwi news last week. We come right into that manipulation. And then what do? We make a new low. So once we came into the 50% this morning, this is something I was looking at. Was it like 1 minute, 30 second? Let me see. Yeah. So this is what I was looking at this morning, trying to catch the short. And we saw that price didn't give me the premium that I wanted it to, right? But we do have a distribution, right? That distribution ultimately breaks this low, right? So when we break that low, I now want us to come back up here. Well, we didn't do that. What we ended up doing was redistributing, right? So out of the redistribution, now you can see I wanted price, after we did this, I wanted price to come back up in here so I could short it. And instead we just collapsed. So now it's just kind of like, just follow it along. And when we accumulate again, right, you can see the distribution right there, right? There's your distribution. That's your UTAD. And then when we break this low, right, that's when I started to look. You could see my alert was sitting right here. I had a limit order out of this with a stop loss above the high. And then I had a limit order out of this distro with a stop loss up here. I just had it split. That's where I really wanted to take my short. And then you can just see, we just ended up collapsing. So nothing for me to really do. There was no entry for me to get into. It was just honestly just tracking it, following it along. And at this point now, I mean, you can kind of see what we did. We've now invalidated Asian price action, and we're just continuing to play redistribution after redistribution. So going into tomorrow morning, ideally what I want to see is just another continuation play, another redistribution, and with some kind of manipulation, right? I don't want to try to sell from here. I would ideally like to see, because you could see the low is here, right? So this is our order flow leg. That's why that alert is right here. Because if we go up into this area here, that's what gets me into this market. Distribution here to short it, right? You got a delay, Sean? Is it, I don't know. Do you guys, what do you mean? Like a delay, my voice to what the, yeah, I don't know, man. It could be Zoom, bro. It could be Zoom. So anyway, yeah, NZD CAD, I was looking for the damn short on it. She just didn't give me an entry, so, bigger picture, like where are we? Just take a look. Where are we? We are, right? We are in this leg right here. So could we essentially pull back? We can, but until we get any sign of strength coming in, I'm going to be targeting this low over here, right? I'm going to be targeting this low. That's all of my shorts are going to be going to break that low. I want to get below 8,100. All right. So I'm still holding some NZD CAD shorts. Geez, I don't even know where I got them in. I got into NZD CAD. I'm in that distro. Where's that distro at? I'm in a distro from From 88.827 back on November 18th. So that's the last positions that I'm holding from November. Oh yeah, it was up here. So I'm holding these positions from here. So, obviously I've got, what am I holding? It's not much. I've got 1.1, I got 1.02 lots still holding on that sucker. So yeah, I'll be looking to continue just shorting these. All right. Like I said, the yen cross is really nothing for me to play on yen crosses yet. I know somebody was looking at EJ this morning. I'll be honest though. I'm not really looking for anything on EJ. I mean, I know we were looking at that accumulation down in there, but yeah, I'm personally not going to be looking for anything on EJ quite yet. So dollar crosses, Chef JPY is the other one. Chef JPY and CADJ were the ones that I was really looking at. And, we are, there we go. Okay. So we are, wow, come on, TradingView. There we go. I mean, we're in a bullish market, right? We're in a bullish market. And, when you look at where we are in order flow, right? Man, this thing is lagging. Oh, all right. So where we are in order flow, there we go. So we know that we did this and then we broke and did that. All right. So what I'm looking for is I'm just looking for evidence of buyers. I've got this boxed off because if we make a new high, then we have a new order flow leg. Right. So what I'm going to be personally looking at is, I tried a little buy out of here this morning, a little 5-second accumulation. And, I just want to see evidence of buyers coming back into this market. Right. And we almost got it this morning. You can kind of see the thought process. We had a really clean accumulation. We had Asian liquidity. We had the sweep at crossover. We had the sign of strength. We had just a clean 5-second. Was it 5-second? I think it was a 5-second accumulation in there. We had, where's she at? Bam. I know she missed me off the 80. I took it off. I had the 50 and 80 split. There she is right there. So we had this beautiful 5-second and, it's just typical Tuesday crap. There it is right there. So yeah, that was the entry. Took it off the 50, had the 80 as well, but the 80 didn't pop. So as soon as we broke this, reduced risk, as soon as we reaccumulated and went higher, I just broke it even. All right. Can you repeat the order flow on Chef JPY? From where? What time frame? When I was on the 30-minute? Yeah, so this high, right? That's where we broke. So this was the leg, and that's what we got right here. What did this do though? That's just a continuation play, right? Notice how this broke that, swept that low. So what did you break here? Yeah, for me, this was just a continuation play, right? So like if you look at it, yeah, it is the most recent reaccumulation, but what did this do? Did it come back to mitigate out of here? Yeah, so for me, this is still my leg. I'm with you. It broke order flow here, right? I'm with you. That's the boof. But this is our leg. So for me, I'm still looking for buys on it. Yeah. Would you have tried buying from where? Would you have would I have been trying to buy from here? Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, this would have been the first area I buy. And then if we trade below it, now I've got to play into this, right? I've got to play into that. So that's why we were looking here. Because if you measure out, yeah, if you measure out this reaccumulation, right? We came into the 50. So came into the 50, we saw an accumulation, we saw a reaccumulation. That reaccumulation took out the very first supply point, which was your redistribution. So, I was looking for price to come back down into this area. Obviously we came in here. So yeah, does that make sense? Can you explain structure and how structure legs are maintained? So structure is the highs and lows that create the new leg. So how do you know the leg? You got to look left, right? So here's the easy answer. So if you get price to do that, right? We know that we're bullish from here, right? This is our leg. This is our bullish leg. And then if price does this, we're not bearish, right? Because we're still being maintained from this. So now if we do this, this is all just order flow. It's just noise, right? Until we make a new high, right? Until we make a new high, now structure goes from here to here because this is the low that made that high. And that's all that matters. Everything else in between is just noise. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. All right, good. I'm all caught up. So yeah, so CAD, Chef J, I'm still looking for the buys on it. I honestly will just be waiting down here, right? I'm still going to be waiting in this area here, and there we go. And then the other one I was looking at was CAD Chef, right? GU, yeah, we did GU, man. We did GU. GU was the second one we did after EU. CAD Chef, pretty simple, right? We've been buying CAD Chef pretty nicely, and you can just see reaccumulation, right? This is the cause of this break. So what does price do? We see price coming back in to mitigate it. And then what do we see? We see a distribution ice with an accumulation that causes a new high, right? So just playing the continuation move on it, right? Here is, there we go. Here's what I'm kind of looking at right now. We saw this accumulation in here. There is just a really, really clean accumulation down here. And at this point, it is valid for me. But what I do want to see is I do want to see us where we're at. I just want to see us take out this high. So I got the alert up there already. I want to see us take out this high. And when that happens, this becomes our new leg, order flow leg. This becomes my slingshot right here, right? And in the slingshot, I mean, I'll show you what it looks like on the 1 minute, but yeah, there you go. Here's your 1 minute schematic, right? There's your 1 minute schematic. And if you go, what is it, like 15 second, I think? Yeah, there you go. That's what it looks like on a 15 second. Super clean, right? Super clean. And I mean, that's your spring, right? That's your spring. So yeah, I can guarantee you I'll be looking to play that. And I know that 50% looks like a big, like a pretty big stop loss, but even off the 50, I mean, you're talking 3.3 pips. So, and to get up to, where would I be first targeting to partial out? I mean, to get up to these Asian highs, we already took it. I know that, but to get up to these Asian highs, there's already a 1 to 15. To get up to the target that I really want to get up to and create that new high up here, I mean, that's a 1 to 24. So that's kind of the area I'm looking for on CAD Chef. And I mean, that's pretty much everything I'm looking for minus indices, right? So, what I want to see is I just want to see a little bit of weakness, get us down here, right? Get price to trade up down into this area down here. That'd be great. Let me just mark this out like that. And yeah, so on currency side, that's pretty much everything I'm watching. On equities, right? On equities, where are we? I'm still bearish as crap on this, right? I'm still holding. I think I got a total of 12 separate orders between NASDAQ, SPX, and U30. Here we go. So what do I want to see? I mean, just literally just play the continuation move, right? I mean, this is all it is. You just have to wait. Like today, I was trying to see, you could see what I wanted, right? I wanted us to come back into this accumulation so I can hedge it to take it up so I could sell it from here. Did not happen. Price never came anywhere. So I just sat on my hands. I haven't been in an indice play in probably 3 trading days, right? So we know that ultimately this distribution up here is maintaining our leg, right? So what I need to do, right, is just wait for the schematic, right? Wait for the distribution. There is no doubt in my mind that that was a manipulation, right? That New York Open. So I'm going to be watching price in this area here. You know, you can see my alert sitting right here. You know, what I want to see is give me a clean distribution so I can take out and make a new low. That's what I'll be looking for. Right. So I'm still very bearish on this. I don't know why this is the wrong way. It should be like that. There you go. So, you know, ideally this is going to be the first area that I'm going to be looking for my short. Right. And then if we trade above it, the distribution up here is where I'll have a limit order, right? I'll just put a little bit of risk on it. But that's pretty much what I'm looking for. NASDAQ, SPX, same exact thing. Do you play off the price action from the crossover? Do I play off from the London crossover? Yeah, same exact thing here on SPX. You know, you can see looking at price here, or out of that distribution there, because that distribution is what's maintaining this, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking for. Why didn't you take the time frame into account as much when looking at structure? Well, what's the time frame you mean? Yeah, talk to me about the time frame. Did I just not fit my errors correctly, or price just didn't want to tap me in this one? Let's see, bro. What do you got? That's on U30. So what time? What time is this at? I don't know. You're okay. You're -4. Okay. All right. So hold on. So this was this morning at 10. Let's see on U30. Let's see. Let's see. So let's see. This is what you were playing out of, right? Right here. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Hold on. Was it a? I'll tell you what you missed. Do you, you see the 1 second in here that mitigates out of? That would have been that would have been a nice little trade. All right. So let's see. So you're talking, that's what you were looking at right there. And here's your 50%. So it doesn't come into that 50. Let me just see some. Where's the 1 minute? Let's see. 2 minute, 3 minute. Yeah, I mean, there's orders in there. So that's where it should have gone. Let's see. Where does she go? Where does she go? Boom, boom, boom. Oh, there she goes. Yeah, no, she tagged in what, the 2 minute? Oh, no, she did. She did. Yeah, she hit the 50% of it, even if you just did the whole move. Yeah, is that what you were talking about right here? I'm guessing that's what we're talking about. 32,916. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it came in at 50%. There it is right there. Came in at 50%. I was missed. Like it, you mean it missed you on your broker? Did you put the spread in? Yeah. All right. Heard you say weekly and daily leg can be maintained from the same area at times. It is. Yeah, absolutely. For me, the number doesn't matter, right? It's the leg structure. You know, I mean, if I'm on a 1 hour chart, right? If I'm on a 1 hour chart, what's currently maintaining my leg, right? My leg is being maintained from here to here. That's my leg, right? If I'm on the 15-minute chart, right? Oh, stupid trading view, man. If I'm on the 15-minute chart, what's maintaining my leg? It's still the same point, right? It's still this. It's still this to this. That's still my leg. You know, if I go to the 4 hour, what's maintaining my leg? It's still the same point. Look, the red dots, it's still the same thing. So yeah, for me, the number doesn't matter. It's the leg structure. So, yep. And you know, yeah, I'm expecting us, right? I'm expecting, like, when this happens here, right? Remember, this distribution is what's going to be controlling it. And 27K, that's where I'm looking. 27K right here. This is my first area that I'm going to. All my shorts that I'm holding at 27K. Do you play the price? Do I play the price action from the end of day? You mean changeover? No, I don't play price action from changeover. There's no volume in there. There's no orders. Changeover is literally the lowest order flow of orders being injected into the market in the entire Forex day. So, but yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I'm looking at. I mean, this is what I got on my radar. Continuation shorts, you know, you gotta ask yourself, like, where do you want to short this market from? And for me, right, when we take this low, then this distro is going to be where I'm going to be really looking for. As of right now, like, this is our order flow leg, right? And, you know, this is where I want to short from. So if we can get up there, this is where I want to short this market to come lower. So yeah. BTC, I don't think BTC's changed in like 2 days. I'm going to look at it, but would you have taken the US 30 long without the break? US 30 long without the break from where? Yeah. What do you mean? Where would I have taken it from? During the open? No. I wasn't looking to buy from here, man. Yeah, no. I wasn't looking to buy from here at all. Yeah. For me, if I'm buying, I'm buying out of here. That's the only place I'm buying. Yeah, it's not worth the risk to reward, isn't worth it for me here. So there's, especially the fact that we came into that 80% here, but remember, what was it, NASDAQ? And when I looked at it this morning, NASDAQ and S&P did not sweep Asian highs. So, you know, I was anticipating us to either come down here or we were just going to go higher. So I'm not looking for the buy here. I want the shorts, right? The sells where I'm going to make the money. The buys are, for me, are just the protection. And I mean, heck, I'm holding I don't even know. I'm holding, I don't need the protection. I'm holding plenty of sells on U30, NASDAQ, and SPX. I mean, yeah, I'm holding SPX from 4,600. 4,603 is where I'm holding from back on March 31st. So I don't need to try to play out of this. You know, I would have, if we would have reaccumulated, all right, maybe the hedge would have been a little more advantageous from there, but yeah, I personally won't play that. Yeah, and so BTC, I mean, yeah, BTC hasn't changed much, man. We are, I mean, I still like what we're doing, right? I mean, I still like where it's at. You can see, you know, from an order flow perspective, we're here, right? We're here. We broke that 46K mark, which is what I wanted. And now we're in the area that I want to see the buy. And what are we getting? We're getting that accumulation. So, you know, could we still come back and play into this? We can. I will say that if we trade below here, if we trade below, what is this, like 30, 34, 440. If we trade below 34, 440, all of this is done. All of this is for nothing. And then what I would have to look at is them coming into this down here, right? Coming into this down here. So, I mean, the order flow is still bullish, right? Until we take out this low right here, we're still bullish. Overall target on NAS. Overall target on NAS is the COVID spike, man. Yeah, the COVID spike. Right down here. Hold on. Right down here. So, you know, highest would be that, but realistically, like 8,200 is probably where I'd be looking. So, yeah, this right here needs to get mitigated. So, and that accumulation right there needs to be mitigated. So, yep. TRB. Dude, I have no idea what TRB is. What is TRB? TRB. Let's see. TRB. Teller? No clue, man. No clue. I've never read its white paper. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about the ecosystem. I can't even log into it. That's a bad sign when it's got a protocol on it that is decentralized Oracle protocol, transmit permission Oracle protocol for smart contracts to easily get any data wherever it needs to go. All right, so it's just another smart contract ecosystem. I'll tell you what, I'm not too impressed with their website. They probably could have done a little better. TA? I mean TA. What is TA? Yeah, what is TA? I have no idea what TA is, bro. TAB? Is that what you're asking? TAB? What if NASDAQ falls below the COVID spike? I don't think it'll fall below the COVID spike, man. Yeah, I don't think it'll fall below the COVID spike. This is our higher time frame structure point, man. Yeah, this is our, right? This is the leg. This comes in, right? When we measure that reaccumulation, right? She comes into the 50%. And then this is the leg. Oh, come on, annotate. There you go. So this is the leg. So, you know, we have to come back and mitigate this. I don't think we're going to trade below the COVID spike. You know, equities is bullish, right? I mean, you look at it. I mean, we've been bullish for a very long time. So I don't think we fall below here unless something tremendously devastating happens to the US economy. I don't see it. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what ticker you're trying to have me look on the crypto side, but oh, here's the other thing I was talking about. Flux, right? For those of you guys running Flux nodes like I am, for those of you guys that bought Flux last year when I had said that I was buying flux at like 20 cents when we were all in this accumulation and all that stuff. Those of you guys mining flux, I mine the crap out of it. There is a snapshot that is coming up right on the 5th. They're going to pretty much everybody that's holding flux, they're going to take a snapshot. And where is it? I know they got it on here somewhere. I took a screenshot of it somewhere. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. So Flux Luna and Flux Avalanche will be going live on the 5th. So you're going to get a 10% airdrop of Flux for whatever you hold. So you hold 100 Flux, they're going to give you 10%. So you're going to get 10 Flux. You hold 1,000 Flux, they're going to give you, you know, they're going to give you the 100 Flux. So you're going to get a 10% drop for the parallel assets. So, which is pretty nice. If you, where is it? So I personally mine Flux. I've been mining Flux for a very long time. I mine it on miner pool. Nope, that's Raven Coin. Hold on. And you can already see like on my, so I've accumulated just on this one. I've made 850 Flux, and you can see I've got 68 Flux pending on, actually it's 6 and 7. So it's this one here and this one here that I'll get paid out, plus what I'm holding in my nodes. So I've got the 3 nodes. I'm soon going to get, as soon as I get another 1,000, I'll be running a 4th node on it. So yeah. Most people would say the fall is devastating. That fall. Oh, you mean getting down to that COVID spike? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. Yep. What do you got here, bro? TRB? Yeah, but what is TRB, man? Like I said, TRB. Let's see. I have no idea what TRB is. Teller. I've never done any research on Teller, so I have no clue, bro. No clue. Now I'd have to, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I have no opinion on it, man, because I've never done any research on it. For me on crypto, I've got to research it. I've got to look at the white paper. I want to look at the dev group. I want to look at the project itself before I personally do kind of any investing on it. So yeah, man, sounds good. Thanks. Awesome. So anyway, yep. We are Flux, like I said. I'm having a grand old time with Flux. We're up just from this last area where I was looking for some more buys out of, yeah, I mean, it's up, 50 something percent is what it saw. And this is just people buying it before the snapshot. So I think you'd like Shiba Moon, Eli. Yeah. I still hold a little bit of Shiba, but I cashed out like 90% of it when we caught the buy on it. I caught, where the hell is it? When we caught that accumulation on it, that's all she wrote, man. That is all she wrote. This right here, this accumulation. Ooh, hold on. This accumulation right here is what we bought. Come on, what the heck? Yeah, this accumulation is what we bought. So we saw, I don't even know what we saw. I cashed out like 4 times on it, but it went up 1,248%. I think I walked away with like 900% on it. So I was pretty happy with it. IOXT, no clue, man. Is that like a fork of IOTA? IOTX. Yeah, you got to tell me what IOTX. No clue. What's the project? Yeah, I don't know. Building the connected world. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea about it. I don't know anything about it. I've never researched it, man. Technical analysis? What do you mean technical analysis? For what? For a chart? You've got it when it comes to crypto. There's way more than just technical analysis. Like there's got to be. Uh, so it's an IoT. Oh, I wonder. I wonder if they're going to give like helium a run for their money. An Internet of Things. Uh, yeah, man. I honestly couldn't tell you. I mean, the chart doesn't matter because if you, it's yeah, it honestly doesn't matter. IOTX USDT. Let's see. When did Coinbase list this? Let's see. Yeah, man, this was a pump and dump. There is absolutely nothing I would do with this right now. I would figure out what caused this. And my guess is that they came out with something, whether a contract or something like that, and that's it. She's done. This was a pump and dump. For me, the only way I'm going to get into it is not off technical analysis. It's off, an example would be like Cadena, right? Cadena's chart looks exactly like this. All right. If you come over to Cadena, where's Cadena? If you look at Cadena's chart looks exactly like this, right? Look at that. But now I can tell you why I'm getting ready, why I'm investing in Cadena, because all of this right here was like a lot of hype, right? Now they've got projects on board. They've signed on with Flux to do Web 3.0. Like they've got the infrastructure, they've got the test nets in place. This all here was just VC capital crap pumping in, trying to dump it. So I feel bad for anybody that got in at $20, right? I'm cost dollar averaging in. I've been cost dollar averaging in Cadena here because, one of the things I look at is the miner hash rate, right? Miners are going crazy right now, mining this, meaning that once it's all mined, that's it, right? Max supply. You only have a max supply of certain coins. So the appreciation of it, right, and the de-inflationary value to it will automatically appreciate this value. So for me, there is no technical analysis on Cadena. It's where do I feel comfortable buying from? I mean, I don't know who I told today. I said somebody that if Cadena hits $1, that I will be trying to do anything in my power to buy as much Cadena at $1. Because Cadena, in my opinion, is probably going to be in the next 5 years somewhere in the neighborhood, of, well, if it 3Xs and the high was 30, right? 3Xs would be $90 a coin. So I'll be pretty happy with that. Yeah, you're searching for alts to buy if BTC pumps. Yeah, but I mean, you got to think about what your investment strategy will be. For me, I like, if I'm going to go with like blue chips, if I'm going to throw a little bit of money, like throw away cash, I'll throw it at some of these like long shots. That's what I did with Flux so long ago, when Flux first came out. But, for me, the big blue chips that I'll be looking at are Luna, right? Luna's a big one. Matic is another one. Flux is another one. What's the other one? Comp is another one. Aave is a big one. And then even Polygon, or no, not Polygon. Matic I already said, but Polkadot. Those are the blue chips that I'd be looking for to get in. Look at Strong Block, man. Is this strong? Yeah, look at Strong Block. All these people. I mean, I still have my node, but I'll tell you right now, I'm probably not going to renew it because it's going to cost me more in maintenance fees than anything. I got my fill out of Strong Block. I mean, all these people that bought it at $1,000 and now it's down to 18. I mean, there is no technical analysis at this point. Like for me, this is done. This is done. This was a node. That's why some of these node projects, you got to get in, get your ROI, break even, and play with house money, you know. I would like to get into mining. Is mining worth it? How's the ROI? So I would not get into mine. Well, it depends. Like if you have, you know, the biggest speculation right now is what happens when Ethereum goes proof of stake, or if it goes proof of stake, who knows? Like I was listening to the dev call the other day, and I mean, yeah, whatever. We'll see. We'll see if it goes proof of stake. There's always a new coin though, right? There's always a new coin to mine. You know, it is a nice passive income, but you got to be smart about it, right? You got to, you know, you got to find the deals, because every dollar that you put out to get hardware is just another more dollar that you got to make to hit break even. So I got into mining last summer, and I honestly got into it at a really great time because rewards were through the roof, you know. And I mean, what was it, 2 days ago when the Ethereum gas fees were, what were they? I screenshotted this crap, dude. When gas fees were like 5,000 or something like that. I mean, I made $75 in those 2 hours just off of my mining rigs that were doing Ethereum. So is it worth it? I mean, for me it is, but it is, you know, it's, if you think that you're just going to plug something in and sitting in the corner now, I mean, it is some work, you know. There's always, you know, for me, like there's always ways to try to tweak your mining rigs to get them, you know, to put more hash rate out, you know. There's, you know, different overclocks that you can try to get just a little more hash rate with less power, you know. And that's the goal, right? That's what you want to do. You know, you want to get to the point where you're mining at really good hash rate with just stupid low power. And that's where all your money's made. So, but yeah. Alrighty, cool. Alrighty, guys. Well, listen, I think what's better, mining, a bear market or bull market? In my opinion, a bear market. A bear market's great. You know why? Because everyone is selling their equipment at rock bottom prices. And if you are, and for me as a miner, I'm not cashing out every day. So what is my goal? My goal is to mine all the coins I can. And when, like, you know, when Ethereum, so I'm mining Ethereum, right? When Ethereum hits all-time highs at 5,000 is when I'll cash out, right? So in a bear market, what happens? People no longer want to mine, right? Because it's either costing them money to do it because their electricity cost is high, or they just cannot sell their coins for value. So what happens? The hash rate, the amount of miners goes down, which means I don't have to compete with more people, meaning I get a bigger piece of the pie. So where, let's just say I make, you know, let's just say I make 10 Ethereum, right? Say I make 10 Ethereum at 2,000 a coin, right? All right. So I made 20K, right? In whatever time frame it was here. Most people won't do that because they've probably spent an arm and a leg, and they can't hold up for the power and stuff like that. I'm on solar, so I don't care. And what happens when we get up to, you know, $5,000, right? I mean, I just went from 20K to 50K on my assets, right? So that's my take. You know, I definitely enjoy a bear market for crypto mining, because in a bull market, you're fighting. I mean, everyone and their mom is going out there to buy graphics cards, and they're scalping graphics cards. And, you know, I mean, I'll never forget looking at a graphics card that I paid $400 for going on eBay for $2,500, you know? So yeah, that's my take. That's my take on it. So, but anyway, guys, listen, I've got to run. I've got to go grab some dinner, but thanks for hopping on. And I'll upload this for anybody that wants to rewatch it. I'll have it up on YouTube in a couple hours. So thanks for hopping on. And like, again, if you want to jump into the public Discord, it's on my YouTube channel, the Aporia group, that's run by Sam. And yeah, awesome. Thanks for hopping on. I'll catch everybody later.